be on the board of director of SFT, and he's now a communications director at SFT. And Ugyen is from SFT Canada, and they will be giving the Hacker Awards.
Dijela Maranzo de Posa Tabu Nilide. Tak cipta do cik sidu da. Posa nile posa cik kena Canada de, orang Canada ki SFT ki unjin che, adi cik ada sebala nyama shusa di Boston de che, Boston chale menguna che da su New York landa SFT pada de New York landa de guna la Chidil Javashi Kinzi orang nam deve, ane Kurani kale, ane Hagar ki sore jaga sore di bola dishe dan Hagar jaga sore ma pye desha, desla memang toma chala no shui sepa Ugyen la. Next round letter.
Thank you, Sonamdullah and Diki. Hi everyone. My name is Sapa. Someone officially naming Sapa. Ani Quran was the Canada ne pere. Ugyen from Canada.
Today everyone. Today we're here to continue a proud tradition of having Hacker Recognition Awards. So before we go into this, Sapa, would you like to talk about what Hacker is?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of you guys may know about Hacker, but for those of you who don't, after the 2008 uprising inside Tibet, a new kind of movement, a new kind of resistance took place. Today it's being called Hacker, and what's happening inside Tibet is Tibetans are wearing Tibetan clothes, speaking in Tibetan, going to Tibetan businesses. Now, for many of us, those may seem very mundane, apolitical actions, but those actions, those simple actions, are actually a direct resistance, a direct confrontation to the Chinese Communist parties inside Tibet. And now it's obviously not just inside Tibet, it's something that's happening all over the world. For all of you New Yorkers here, and I know a lot of people from the Hacker New York, New Jersey committee are here, so I'd like to acknowledge all the work that they're doing, all the amazing empowerment events that they've been having here every Wednesday. So first of all, thank you to all of you guys. And like our hosts mentioned, that this is something that's happening in Boston for the last 6 years, and it's something that's happening all over the world. It's bringing Tibet inside Tibet together, and it's bringing Tibetans inside Tibet with Tibetans outside Tibet. So Hacker has immense potential, and for the last few years we've been giving out Hacker Awards to some of the most renowned and most active members of the Tibetan freedom movement, and this year we have some amazing folks for these awards, and I would like to have Ugyen take the lead in introducing our first Hacker Award winner.
So the first category for our Hacker Awards is the Hacker Award for Resilience. Many of you may know this name, Khyentse Khalse, who from the beginning, since when we first heard about him through a lot of online news, he struck a chord with me the moment I saw his picture. There's this young abbot, relatively young, and he was sitting with his laptop open, and there was this look of determination in his eyes, just in the picture. And with the moment I read that article, then I started to really feel, what it is like to be an organizer in Tibet, and what it is like to promote your culture, what it is like to embrace what Hacker stands for. The award for the Hacker Award for Resistance is presented today. We are very honored to present it for Khyentse Khalse for his outstanding social work, cultural promotion, and environmental protection in the face of China's persecution. Obviously, today Khyentse Khalse can't be here, and we are really hoping that we can present this award to him in person when he does get here. But in order to honor him, we'd like to invite Sunamondila, senior Sunamondila, up on stage to help present these awards. Sunamondila.
And for those of you who don't know Sunamondila, he heads the US Tibet Committee and is a very, a well-known face in the Tibetan movement for decades. And USTC played a key role in establishing Students for Free Tibet 20 years ago. So it's a great honor to have Sunamondila here to present the Hakar Awards for us today.
So once again, we are holding on to the award for Khenpo Khalse because he's not able to make it. But Sunamondila, thank you for honoring Khenpo Khalse, and we're going to hold on to this award for today. Thank you very much.
So the Hakar Award for activism goes to an individual that I think every one of us knows of or has seen online, just completely mobilizing people, energizing people. And the winner for the Hakar Award for activism is Jigme Ogela. Yes, please. Jigme Ogela came here all the way from Minnesota to attend LongShoNite. The Hakar Award for activism goes to Jigme Ogela for his outstanding leadership as a grassroots organizer and digital activist in the Tibetan freedom movement. I think I may not be wrong if I say that every one of us here in this room, or maybe like 99% of us, follow Jigme Ogela on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think everybody in our world and in many different circles know Jigme Ogela for his amazing activism. And he's not just someone behind the computer and on his phone. He's someone who's always on the streets, completely, energizing people with his powerful speeches. And I personally am a big fan of Jigme Ogela, so it's an honor for me to be here to help present the Hakar Award for activism to Jigme Ogela. Thank you so much. And I'd like to ask Jigme Ogela to say a few words.
Toche, just the award the people the people in the general Udigala, where the Nizu you get the Zambling the Setachi at the Zambling Mimala, the Parchik Zorwin, video chick David, Zambling the Table and the Kitchen Shuridos edition. In a the integral don't strategic shape. I was just talking about being a Tibetan, you are expected to be an activist. You are born an activist, especially if you're living in Tibet or even in exile. My father is from Tau, and I made a commitment to my father that one day I'll take him back to Tibet. He died in exile. And once we tried going to the Chinese embassy, and the embassy actually denied both of us visas because I was very involved with the Tibetan Youth Congress, and they said what I do in exile is not is reason enough to not get a visa to Tibet. I was denied and he was denied. It was one of probably the saddest things I had to face. But then when I got home, he said that it was one of his proudest moments being a father of an activist meant a lot. And so I think I dedicate this award to every Tibetan who's died in exile, every child in exile who's not been able to complete his or her parents' wishes, and to every Tibetan born in Tibet, a born activist. And hopefully we can all go back to a free Tibet. Tache.
Thank you, Jigmir. So moving right along, the next Lakar Award is the one for the arts, and the Lakar Award for the arts goes to Tenzin Tsiten Chokle for breaking new ground in Tibetan filmmaking by directing the documentary feature Bringing Tibet Home. For those of you who don't know about this film, it's been shown in Brisbane, Busan, FIPA, Campfest, and it's about the story of, something like Jimmy Ogila, what he was saying, that he can't go to Tibet. His father couldn't go back to Tibet, and this is the story of Tenzin Rinpoche, the artist whose father could not go to Tibet because he passed away in exile. And what Tenzin Rinpoche did is brought Tibet back into exile by exporting over 20 tons of Tibetan soil into Dharamsala, and Tenzin made an amazing documentary covering that entire journey. And I was lucky enough to be at the premiere in New York several weeks ago, and throughout the movie, I think pretty much everybody in that movie theater was in tears because of the powerful and how powerfully and beautifully Tenzin was able to capture that story that resonated with so many Tibetans and so many people who can't go back to their own land. And Tenzin, I also want to congratulate him for recently winning the Emerging Director Award at the Asian American International Film Festival. So, but I also heard that the Lakar Award for Arts is a little bit more prestigious than that. So I would like to congratulate you for that. And if you could say a few words, Tenzin.
Well, I don't have much to say. I just want to thank SFT for considering me and my work worthy of this recognition. And also, I would like to congratulate SFT for its 20th year anniversary. And finally, most of you who are here tonight, I know that you all are ardent supporters of the Tibet movement. So tonight, I just want to urge you to continue to support, to give your support to SFT and the important work that they do. Thank you.
So the next category is a Lakar Award for Service. And before I go into this, I wanted to speak quickly about what we do, how long we've been having Lakar in Toronto, because that's where I'm from. Also one of the largest growing Tibetan communities, because we recently had the approval of 1,000 Tibetan visas. That means more Tibetans in Toronto, which is awesome. When I the first time I actually had a chance to kind of communicate with Chunda Korenla. Many of you might know Chunda Korenla, who was TTU in Europe, North American Tibetan representative of the parliament in exile. And the first communication I had with her was when she sent a very impassioned email asking, the TSG list, maybe activists only know about this list, Tibetans, organizers around the world, asking them to organize Lakar in your community. And she wrote about how important it is to work in solidarity with the Tibetan people. And when I read that email, I was so inspired by what she had said that I immediately forwarded to all our community members, our associations, everything. And right away, 2 years ago, we started our first Toronto Lakar, and now it's been more than 2 years and it's going strong. And because of Chunda Korenla, in many ways, this has happened. Today, we are honored to present the Lakar Award for Service to Chunda Korenla for more than 4 decades of enduring service to the Tibetan struggle and community. And we hope